So if you guys had to describe how you're feeling tonight, what would you say? Where are you at? How you doing?
Ooh, I'd have to say a little tired.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say a little relieved. Yes, like the last couple nights have been a little chaotic from like 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. He's just been like, ah. And today it was like, he hasn't been very fussy right now. So
Nice.
I'm much more relaxed. I was very stressed and tense the last like 2 days. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, that is just perfect. I mean, not that you've been stressed, but for the practice I have planned, like Linz, I kind of told you in message, if either of you need to come and go as you please, if you need to log off, log back on, it really, there's no, none of that social faux pas for me. So feel free to do that. This will go, like, it's typically 75 minutes, and with space at the very end to set intentions with the new moon. So just as I start doing the teachings, you can find any position that's comfortable for you. If you want to lay down, if you want to find a seated cross-legged position, and if you feel like you need your cameras off for this part, you can just go ahead, shut them off. And as we go through the teachings, you guys can get comfortable. I'll start guiding you into your breath. And then eventually we'll move into the first shape together, the first pose together. Okay?
All right. I better go get my yoga.
Yeah. And, I have a bolster and a couple blocks. If you have anything like that you feel like you want to support yourself with, pillow, blanket. And as you are getting yourself settled, get yourself really comfortable, like let your whatever shape you choose to begin in be one where you feel like you can really comfortably drop into your body. Like if you're feeling like that means lying down, that is perfect. And then, like I said, if you want to be seated, that is just fine as well. Whichever shape you begin to choose, and you can just close your eyes. As you close your eyes, begin to land in your body and settle into just your flow of breath. So let's take some moments at the beginning to just notice where your breath rhythm is at. Does your breath feel choppy or smooth? Does it feel erratic or chaotic in any way? And then whenever you're ready, you can begin the process of deepening your breath. And so the first pranayama we'll stay with is really just focusing on your inhalations. So we'll breathe in through the nose, begin to feel the lungs expand. And as you come to your exhale, we'll just let that flow out with ease. Kind of letting your attention take a break for a moment, and then we'll focus, one pointed focus on your in-breath. And so it might take you several rounds of breath to build your inhale up to what is maybe close to your lung capacity. And that's going to be our goal. Focusing on the inhale, beginning to expand lungs, belly, rib cage, heart. And then the exhale, you just let it go, release. And we'll keep building in that way. And so the past couple of days, maybe you have felt just a weird shifting of energy as the moon has moved into its new moon phase, which basically means that the sky is dark No moon is visible to our eyes. And this particular moon cycle begins what's called the falling leaves moon. This falling leaves moon cycle is the beginning of the season when all of creation makes their offerings. Through the harvest, as the trees begin to offer their leaves, it is really a time to be aware of all the miracles before us. On your next inhale, as you expand the lungs, breathe in oxygen in the same way that trees, all of the plant cesters do. And as you exhale, you can just release and feel the relief. And so, being really blessed to live in Minnesota, we are really surrounded by the grandest of colors during this time. The trees and the leaves, the various grasses, bushes, these would all be considered the offerings of the world around us. And this falling leaves new moon is a time where we really begin to reflect on all that has grown since the spring. Really taking time to harvest the abundance that has brought your way. All the miracles before us. And we'll take 5 more breaths here and add a little visualization. And so as you inhale, imagine your energy being from scattered, pulled into your center. And then the exhale just releases with not really any effort from you. And we'll take 4 more in this way. Inhale, pull yourself from scattered into your center. All the ways that your energy has been spread today, the past week, the past moon cycle. Pulling yourself back to your center. And as you complete the round of breath you're on, slowly begin to awaken yourself in whatever way feels good to you. Moving very slowly, we will meet in a child's pose. So this is where if you had any pillows or supports, feel free. You can go knees together, feet together, lie down. You can go toes together, knees wide. Lying down. If you had a pillow and you really wanted to support yourself, as you begin to settle into your child's pose, close your eyes if they're not already. If you can, let the center of your brow rest either on stacked hands or the ground. So releasing any tension held in the center of the brow. Beginning to transition your breath now into your exhales. So we should have a pretty decent inhale breath built up. So now we're gonna not really give much energy or effort to the inhale. Breathe fully, right, with ease, and then move your awareness into your out breath. And so we'll really notice the out breath moving out the nostrils, the nasal passages. And as you come to the completion of your out breath, notice if you could press out a little bit more, like any stagnation or breath left. As you find those exhale breaths, notice the way when you really come to the completion of the cycle and you stay with it until you feel really emptied. The navel draws back toward your spine and up the spine as it helps to press any last breath out. As you're in your child's pose, begin to visualize yourself in this embodied shape of a seed. As you are embodying this shape of a seed, we're going to set an intention for the rest of the practice moving forward. So that as you move more deeply into your body through this yin yoga practice, right, we'll be in each asana for anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. So really disengaging any muscle effort, any muscular engagement, coming into the shape gently, knowing that over the length of time that we're in the asana, your body will or will not open. So really encouraging you to start at a very gentle edge. And letting this practice be a practice to carry off the mat with us into the work that we're engaging in. So letting it be a practice of you asking yourself for your own consent. What feels good, what feels safe, what feels nurturing. And if what I'm saying doesn't feel that way for you, then I would invite you to explore what does. My words are simply options for you to choose. Three more breaths here, adding the visualization on your exhale, moving from your center, tethering you to the ground, right? Or plugging you into the earth as you empty that out breath. Moving from scattered to centered, from centered to grounded. And we'll gradually on your next inhale, ease up toward all fours. Ooh, stretch those legs out, maybe curl your toes under. Any counter movements. We'll take a little bit of counter movement time. Anything that feels good, pops, cracks, feeling maybe flows of sensation as it comes back into your body. And when you're ready, we'll meet on our belly. As we come onto our belly, moving into Sphinx pose. So elbows under shoulders. You could find opposite elbows, just kind of grasp here. You could leave your forearms down. You could make a shelf for your chin or your forehead. And then wherever you find yourself, we will close our eyes and actively practice our one-pointed focus, this time bringing our vision toward the tip of the nose. Practicing holding your gaze at the tip of your nose. As we now move into our next pranayama, which is going to be what we'll work with for the duration of the practice, where we move into what's called Samavritti, where it's equal breath, equal inhale, equal exhale. So using that really full inhale that we began with, and then letting your exhale be like a mirror of it, equal in length, fullness, and duration.
Breathe deep. Deep breath. Deep breath.
And the breath is circulating.
Steady the breath to steady the mind. Keep breathing till I feel that light shine. Breathe deep. Deep breath. Steady the breath to steady the mind. Keep breathing till I feel that light shine. Breathe deep. Deep breath. Everything in life revolves around the one, sort of like the planets in our solar system. Take a deep breath, fill up my lungs, draw the mind back toward the central sun. Breathe deep. Deep breath. Inhale, exhale, to release the stress.
Maybe take a scan of the muscles of your low back, your butt, the gluteals. Notice if you're clenching anywhere, let them let go and feel the weight of your pubic bone really drop into the earth below you.
In this modern day age of misinformation, too much complication over stimulation. We need to ease the stress of the situation. So I focus on my breath, steady concentration. Steady the breath to steady the mind. Keep breathing till I feel that light shine.
And for our final minute here, notice if you could breathe right into the space of your low ribs. Almost like you could breathe into a donut around your belly. Or maybe visioning that you fill your belly like the belly of a Buddha.
The people we know, we were born to be. You know the story. We spend our time sitting behind a computer, letting our creativity, our energy get sucked dry. Locked in relationships that bring us pain, waking up every morning pretending to love. Truth cauterized by the fears of the night. Not stepping into our power because somebody said, this dream is not for you. You're too fat, you're too old, you're too ugly, you're too gay, you're not good enough. Don't. We're all obsessed with success, but what does that even mean when we let go of our dreams? Yeah, I've been there too. But today, we wake up. This is the time when we say, no more. Yeah, I got music for you, but this is about more than just music. This is about metamorphosis. This is our life. This is our time. We will not hold ourselves back any longer. We will not let our dreams pass us by. We will not let the sun set on our lives before we've painted the world with the colors of our darkness. Really, it's time to let go of all that shit that's been holding you back for so long. All you gotta do is say yes. This is metamorphosis.
As you exhale, let's begin to ease all the way down. Coming into earth embrace, we'll bend our right knee out wide, pull it up toward the right elbow. And then you could come onto either the left or the right ear. If you wanted another variation, your right arm, you can spin the palm up, slide it through the left. Coming on down to that right ear. Stretching that right leg back. Pressing yourself up toward your heels. Gradual. Coming through all fours. If you need some counter movement, like if you're really dying for some cat-cow after that lengthy sphinx, feel free. If you need a down dog, right? Anything to add some fluid movement in between the yin shapes. So really adding some healthy compression into your kidney adrenal space. And whenever you're ready, I have a block that I put in between my feet for this. because of old ankle sprains. This is hard on my ankles. If this is too much, you can just sit cross-legged. This is Virasana or hero's pose. As I said, you could do this from seated as well. As you land in this shape or whichever shape you're using, and let's take our hands, bring the fingers so that they point behind, thumbs forward, and we'll wrap them right around your low ribs. So your hands begin to really hold this space of your kidney adrenal complex. And then we'll send our gaze forward. Close your eyes and begin to feel this sensation of your spine aligning, your skull stacking right atop your sacrum. Staying with our equal breath, letting your inhales breathe into your hands. As your inhales move into your hands, feel your hands begin to hold the space. As you exhale, empty completely, right? So we're with this Samavriti pranayama. It's all about circulating. Let your inhales spread out into your hands, broadening out. And 2 more breaths here. And then we'll begin to let our hands slide down our spine, right to the sacrum. And so you could let your hands be side by side, or you could stack them here, either way. Staying with our equal breath, breathing down into our hands once again. Bringing yourself way down here, all the way to your holy bone. One part pelvis, one part spine. Notice if you feel any warmth to your hands. And then we'll slide our hands up to our neck, interlace our 10 fingers like we were doing a traditional sit-up. And then bring the hands to the back of the neck. And so that we want here, no fighting with the sensation or the movement, right? Really noticing what is happening with your spine. If as you rise the arms up, if you start to overarch the back, right? Feeling this drawing in almost of the navel, and then a lot of length here. Your pinky fingers maybe right at like the occiput of the back of the skull, the thumbs down by the tops of the shoulders. And then let your neck kind of reach back toward the hands. All the ways in which we lunge forward, right? Future planning even can manifest in the head. As you do this, notice a slight tuck of the chin, not like a drop, nothing crazy, but a slight tuck of the chin engaging in what's called Jalandhara Bandha. So we're really trying to engage this little throat lock or throat hold, so that as we're using our Samavriti breath, we are containing that breath work in between the throat and the pelvic floor and letting it circulate through the lower body, keeping that circulation away from the mind. And then we'll take our hands, bring them just above the head, right to like the crown of the head. Now begin to feel like your skull is rising up toward your hands while your sit bones are simultaneously grounding down. If it feels okay, you could float your hands just about an inch above the head. Feeling like your spine can continue to just lengthen up. As you align your spine in this way, maybe you begin to feel the power generated in your body. Like even though we're stationary, if you're really lifted, grounded, rooted, and circulating breath, there is an energy that builds, like maybe even a heat you start to feel. And then we'll take 2 more breaths here, right? Assimilating, integrating. And so this circulating breath is about just that, circulating all that you've experienced so that you can sort through, right? What should be digested, what hasn't been digested, and so that that energy can be transformed. And then we'll move our hands here to the heart. I still have my hands interlaced. Let them just rest on the heart here. As this happens, feel a broadening across your collarbones, the hands dropping down and in, and yet your heart rising up toward the hands. All these ways that we can help our body self-soothe through adrenal fatigue, stress, clear, direct, and from the heart. And we'll come back onto our belly for a second round of Sphinx. So you can determine at this point if you feel fatigued, right? You don't need to go as deep. You could, right, bend elbows wide, stack the forehead onto the fists, or you can go in any of the versions that we began with. Forearms down, find opposite arms, stack the chin or the forehead. And no right or wrong, just choices that you get to make. This time in your Sphinx, as you're circulating breath, if you wanted to add a little Ujjayi breath, which is like a slight constriction of the throat as you breathe in and out, it sort of sounds like a seashell sound, like a just barely audible to anyone but yourself. For your final minute here, if you wanted to go deeper, the way to go is towards seal. My hands come out wide. I could press into my hands, lift my elbows, really letting your lumbar spine be your guide. If there's any sort of pinching sensation, you've gone too deep. Yin, again, not that it's pleasurable, but you should not be like really fighting with your experience. If you are, you're too deep. And final 3 breaths. And as you exhale, we'll gradually release to our belly. This time it's our left knee that pulls out wide toward our left elbow, coming on to either your left or right ear. If you wanted a little shoulder opener, left hand spins palm up and you would come down onto your left ear.
I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord.
And then we'll gradually stretch your left leg back. Ease yourself up, no rush. And then we'll counter move a little again. All right, so you might feel like a child's pose feels good. Any cat-cow. You could go up to a down dog. Just moving into this space.
Well, if you told me you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. I've seen your face before, my friend, but I don't know if you know who I am. I was there.
And then we'll meet on our seat, coming toward a butterfly. So in yin, we want our legs to be a bit more long, like a longer diamond. If you had anything and you needed support under your knees, like blocks, feel free. And then we can just begin to forward fold. So in your yin butterfly, it's okay, let your spine round. You could think about reaching your forehead toward the bottoms of your feet. If you have any support, like a bolster or pillow, and you really want to drape yourself down, moving from the compression of that powerhouse complex now into creating just so much space. So as you come here, you can choose, right? I'm reaching my arms forward. That feels good, but you could also bring them to the low ribs and let them rest right where we're going to send our breath. Regardless if your hands are resting on the low back ribs or not, as you inhale, we'll breathe into that space. filling it out, almost like puffing it out.
Why does my heart feel so bad? Why does my soul
And so as we are nourishing, right, this solar plexus region with our breath,
why does my heart
and feeling maybe your guard drop,
why does my soul
any constriction or restriction that your body has been holding on to in the name of nervous system activation, in the name of fight, flight, freeze, annihilate, and let that all let go. Using equal pranayama, equal breath to circulate experience. And final minute here. Feel free to let yourself deepen in any way that you might be able to. Bringing your hands back toward your hips so they can function like kickstands as we rise up. If you need some shoulders to the ears, feel free. Help the knees if you need. You can windshield wiper between asana. And then we'll go to half butterfly. So I'm going to bend my right knee, pull the right foot toward my left inner thigh. Typically when I go through this sequence in yin, I like to bend my knee. You don't need a block under there necessarily, but right, we don't want this hamstring to be really engaged. Right? So, and then we just fold. And finding a really gentle, workable edge, because we will be here for 3 minutes. If you had any sort of a pillow that would support you, letting it come toward your belly.
why does my soul feel so bad?
If you liked having your hands hold your kidney space, feel free. This is all about self-soothing. And letting our circulating breath help us transform
Did you get the news from the morning? Can you feel the bruise that needs healing? See all those forces that try to confuse you. Let them run like horses into the night, like moss on a stone. Find your connection deep in your bones. Notice your reflection.
and final 3 breaths here.
We pray for your waters, pray for your seas, your sons and daughters, deserts, mountains and trees. We pray for your waters, pray for your streams, your sons and daughters, deserts, mountains and trees.
And gradually rising up. Taking your time. Shoulders can come to ears as the skull rises. So roll that out before switching sides. So if you're like dying for counter movement, feel free. Otherwise, we can just switch, bending the left knee, supporting your right hamstring in any way that you might need.
Can you feel the bruise that needs healing?
Just folding in.
That try to confuse you. Let them run like horses into the night, like moss on a stone. Find your connection deep in your bones. Set your intention. We pray for your waters, pray for your seas, your sons and daughters, deserts, mountains and trees. We pray for your waters, pray for your streams, your sons and daughters, deserts, mountains and trees.
And final 3 breaths here.
Place you like to go. So come on, oh darling, hurry, hurry, let's go. We're all we need, oh darling.
And gradually rising up.
Hey, we're all we need, oh darling.
Shoulders can come up to ears, back down and around. If you needed windshield wipers, feel free. If you could stay with waiting to counter move, right? Then we go to a wide leg, and my body needs my knees quite bent for this, and supporting with blocks, pillows, and then just folding forward. So you could support your head in any way. You could use a pillow if you had one. A shelf for the elbows, any of those. If as you're coming into this straddle, you felt like you like the hands on your low ribs, go right ahead. This whole practice is designed around your kidneys, adrenal glands, and the chakra system. Your adrenals are like the lower brain of your energy system. They're like your spark plugs. They help your ability to self-regulate. And they sit on top of your kidneys like little ski hats. In traditional Chinese medicine, your kidneys are transformers. They contain vitality and longevity and endurance. They also are said to contain the blueprints for your life force. And let's begin as we complete our final minute here to lengthen out your exhale.
Most certainly I'm where I'm supposed to be. In a molten sun with you I am free. Today our hearts won first prize, 'cause we're wise with the feeling, yeah, we're all we need.
As you take your final 3 breaths here, notice if your out breath could be twice as long as your in breaths. Letting them empty really slow, really smooth, all the way till you're fully emptied. Slowly rising up. can roll out those shoulders if you need. Help the knees, the hands, and then counter move. Windshield wiper the knees, stretch the legs long, really any counter movement that feels good to you. Completing any final movements before we make our way to our back. Even as you come onto your back, you can circle out what you need. And so we'll end with a twist on each side. If you could take twisted roots, it's called, that's what I'll teach. But if that seems too deep, then you can just let your knees fall together to the side. So I am going to take my left leg, wrap it around my right knee like I'm crossing my legs all the way till my left toes wrap, right? So if you can't get the wrap of the foot, then you can just kind of squeeze knees together here. And then I'll move my pelvis a little bit to the left as my knees fall to the right. So like I said, if this is in any way too much, too deep, then just unravel your twisted roots. As you settle in, turn your gaze toward the left, finding left fingertips, if that's okay, on the neck. And then we'll close our eyes. And so as you're in your twisted roots, really allowing yourself to unwind, unfurl, and wringing yourself out. As you're ready to unwind, if you need the support of the hands, feel free. Help the knees lift up, unravel the legs. Tap your sacrum on the ground a couple times, right? Let it let go. And then we'll switch. My right leg's gonna wrap around my left knee. Maybe my toes can go all the way around. My hips will move a little to the right, so my knees can fall to the left. Then I'll outreach my right arm, turn my gaze to the right, and settle in here. Bringing out, unwinding, unfurling. That adrenal charge being discharged. All of the anger and frustration and resentment that creates imbalance in the solar plexus. Feeling that it's being transformed. Because as we move into this time of being done with the injustices and inequalities in this world, this work needs some major self-care strategies. Some heavy lifting, some emotional labor. And as you begin to heal yourself, it's not actually just yourself that you heal. Your ancestry, your lineage. And if you think of it in this way, 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents, 16 second great-grandparents, 32 third great-grandparents, 64 fourth great-grandparents, 128 fifth great-grandparents, 256 sixth great-grandparents, 512 seventh great-grandparents. The 7th generation is 512 humans to make you and me. And our atoms and cells and molecules that have aligned here today. As you're ready, unwind your legs, lift them up, unwind. Hug knees to the chest, circle around, or you can windshield wiper your knees. Any final movement before our Shavasana. And when you're ready, stretch your legs long. Let your palms spin up, releasing into Shavasana. As you come to Shavasana, let the out breath empty out the mouth, releasing any last tension. Beginning to allow your body to breathe for itself as you move into the role of simply an observer of your body's ability to breathe. Steady your vision toward the center of your brow. Gazing into your third eye of perception. Without changing your body's breath in any way, just add a visualization. Inhale, drawing in breath that includes this blue beam of light that you pull right into your heart space. As your body exhales, visualize a swirling of your energy out, rippling out, pouring out of your heart space. Each inhale pulls in vibrant blue light to your heart. Each exhale spirals it out, rippling out of your heart. Because our dance grows impassioned now as we reclaim our bodies, as we reach through emotion and desire to find our will, purpose, and action. We feel power rising from our guts, descending from our visions, releasing from our hearts. And so you can remain in this meditation. Or if you want to purge, beginning to find pen and paper. For all the generations who couldn't, your sisters and brothers, the children that are coming, your ancestry, your community. Embracing your abundance, celebrating your worthiness, sharing your bounty, filling yourself with joy and love, transforming grief and greed, judgment, anger and shame and frustration and fear, offering gratitude to the land and your ancestors. What seeds are you planting? What seeds are you planting? And if you could, plant a seed for yourself and plant a seed for your community. My intention for myself moving into this falling leaves moon is small as all. So that through small, continual efforts and actions, my intention for the community is liberation. Because yoga is unity, and unity means liberation. And through that unity and liberation, we can all be free. Om 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 Shanti Om. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu.